Proverbs Chapter 21 through the Bible. Part 2. An high look and a proud heart, and the plowing of the wicked is sin. Proverbs 21 verse 4. An high look. Maybe you walked into church on Sunday morning and saw Mrs. Jones or Mr. Smith, and you just turned your head so you wouldn't have to speak to them. I was in a group recently where there was a man who had said some unlovely things about me. He acted as if he didn't see me at all. The high look. Maybe nobody noticed the high look. Maybe the person who was given the high look was unaware of it, but God saw it. God calls it a sin. In His sight, it is as much a sin as to go out and get drunk. One is just as bad as the other, although we don't measure it that way. We think the one is terrible and the other doesn't matter. The plowing or tillage of the lawless is sin. This is an interesting proverb. You might see a man out plowing his field and think, he is an industrious man. He certainly should be rewarded for being so industrious. God says that when an evil man with an evil heart is doing anything, even plowing, it will not be acceptable in His sight. That means a sinner cannot give anything to God. He cannot perform a good work. Not only is the high look and a proud heart sinful, but what otherwise would be meritorious is sin in a man who is in rebellion against God. I do not think that God will bless a gift from an unsaved person. Years ago, a brewery in Dallas, Texas, gave gifts of $50,000 each to a Christian school, a denominational college, and a hospital. The school and the college returned the money. I think they did the right thing. God wouldn't use money like that. Notice what Paul wrote to the nation of Israel. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness, and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. Romans 10 verse 1-3. When a person goes about to establish his own righteousness, God says it is sin. The righteousness of man is filthy rags in the sight of God. The thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, but of every one that is hasty only to want. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a vanity tossed to and fro of them that seek death. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them, because they refuse to do judgment. Proverbs 21 verse 5-7. God can use riches that are accumulated in an honest way. There is no sin in being rich. The important thing is how the money was accumulated. If the getting of riches is by lying and robbery, God will see to it that the riches will not be enjoyed. Do you get the impression that there are certain rich men today who are not really having a good time? Their riches are not what they really need. The story is told of an Arab who was lost out in the desert. He was about to die of thirst and starvation. The poor fellow saw a package that had dropped off a caravan. He thought it might contain food or a can of beverage. He hungrily tore open the package and eagerly looked to see what it contained. He dropped it in great disappointment and said, "It's only pearls." Of course they were worth a fortune, but that was not his need. My friend, God says that you can get rich, but it won't do you a bit of good unless you make money in the right way and use it for His glory. The way of man is froward and strange, but as for the pure, his work is right. Proverbs 21 verse 8. Let me give you another translation. The way of a guilty man is very crooked, but as for the pure, his work is right. Your life will demonstrate what kind of a person you really are. If you are right with God, that will be revealed in your life.